The leader of the points in the ARCA trucks and John Komarinski lead us to green in the NASCAR Subway Super Late Models. Through turns 1 and 2, Bailey with a fender lead over Komarinski. Rick Miller, the three-time champion, third beside Barry Audi, then Gary Wiltrout in fifth. Komarinski in car 33 missed the early portion of the season, and since coming out to compete has scarcely finished outside the top 5 with a couple of podium finishes, and that time nearly made contact with Bailey as he takes over the lead on lap 2. Bailey in car 17 has sat out the last couple of weeks, focusing their team's efforts on the ARCA Truck Series. Now Barry Audi slides around the youngster and into second spot. The former Clearfield and Jennerstown Speedway champion rolls into the runner-up position. And now to Bailey's outside, it's Gary Wiltrout, the former track champion in car 95. Wiltrout looking for his first win of the season, as is race leader Komarinski. In between them is Barry Audi with 1 win in 2010. Bailey back to 4th, looking for his first Motordrome win. And then the 14 car, the leading feature winner of 2008 and 2009. A 3-time winner in this ride for only the 2nd time. That is Neil Brown, and we've got a lead challenge. Barry Audi to the inside of John Komarinski. Audi gets a little loose in turn 4, and Komarinski maintains the lead by a bumper officially on lap 5 as they reach the scoring line. Komarinski's only victory in the NASCAR Subway Super Late Models came at the beginning of the 2008 season. Now Barry Audi with 1 win last year and 1 this year. Side by side with them, 2 veteran campaigners glued together door to door, a full lap around Motordrome Speedway. Now Komarinski returns to the point position by a car length and a half. It's Audi in 2nd, Wiltrout in 3rd. Both Audi and Wiltrout, former Jennerstown Speedway champions. Wiltrout with a title here at Motordrome as well. Audi with a title at Clearfield. And now those 2 veterans are side by side, as Audi has lost now 3 or 4 car lengths to race leader Komarinski. In 4th, it's Bailey. In 5th, Neil Brown, now in car 14. Then the battle for 5th. The Subway Challenge driver of the night, Mark Catone, inside of Steve Black. And the defending champion could be taking a position away here on lap 8. The current points leader is Catone in 31. He moves ahead of 2-time feature winner Black, and that clears the inside lane open for Bobby Henry. They nearly made contact in turn 3. Working lap 9 of 50, and John Komarinski's advantage up front has dwindled. Barry Audi now tucked right underneath the spoiler of Komarinski. They approach the lap car of Joe Moose, who's headed pit side. Barry Audi nearly used Moose as a pick on the race leader to take over the point position here on lap 10. It remains Komarinski, Audi, and Wiltrout. They've got some distance now between themselves, and Bailey in 4th. Wiltrout to the high side. Shockingly winless this season is Gary Wiltrout. And Barry Audi on lap 11 looked to have the inside lane secured through turn 1, but it did not help him as Komarinski maintains a lead of just over a car length. These 3 drivers now continue to build distance between themselves and Chris Bailey Jr. in 4th. Komarinski holding on to the lead by only a fender at the scoring line. The 25-year veteran who began his career here on the dirt at Motordrome Speedway and went on to a Pro Stock Championship is wheel to wheel with Barry Audi. Audi and the Wheeler brothers, Stoystown Auto Wrecking 75 with his best run yet, takes over the lead by a fender on lap 13 at the scoring line. Komarinski's Marsula Electric, Miller light number 33 car hangs tough in the high side. Somerset's Gary Wiltrout now switches from the top lane to the low lane in a hope to follow Barry Audi through if Audi can complete the pass for the lead. They were neck and neck at the scoring line at lap 14. 3 veteran drivers duking it out for the NASCAR Subway Super Late Model win. Battle develops back for 5th position as Mark Catone and Bobby Henry are going at it right off the rear bumper of Neil Brown. And that time it seemed like Wiltrout, who's now in 2nd, was pushing leader Komarinski across the start-finish line. Audi drops back to 3rd, and we're single file up front. Now Gary Wiltrout's turn to take a shot at wrestling the race lead away from popular John Komarinski. Wiltrout has not only been to victory lane many, many times in 50-lap feature events with the NASCAR Whelen Series, he's also won Crown Jewel 100-lap events here at Motordrome. Driving for Palagrudo Motorsports, Wiltrout in the Stone & Company Scottdale Lumber Megan Ford, haunting the rear bumper of race leader John Komarinski. Audi is third and loses a couple of car lengths that lap to the lead duo. Bailey Jr. still fourth. Then it's Neil Brown fighting with Bobby Henry for the fifth position. Henry has advanced even around Mark Catone, and they make contact in turn 4. The battle heating up for fifth position between Henry and Brown. Brown, a three-time winner, but not yet going to victory lane with his new number 14 out of the Benz Motorsports stable. And Bobby Henry, just like his teammate Wiltrout at Palagrudo Motorsports, looking for his first win of the season. Only driver in the top 5 right now that has a win in 2010 at Motordrome is the 75 of Barry Audi. Now Henry looks to the inside of Brown again. They touched in turn 4 a couple laps ago. Henry, the 2007 Motordrome track champion. Neil Brown in 14, the former Jennerstown Speedway champion. They play bumper tag out of turn number 2. And now up front, Komarinski has to negotiate the Joe Moose number 83 car, which nearly held him up again. We got a spin in turn 4. Steve Black and Mark Poole both go around. After battling for top 10 positions, 2 drivers with a pair of victories on the season will bring out the caution. They have to hold off Gary Wiltrout, Barry Audi, Chris Bailey, and Neil Brown with the green flag waving. Into turn 1, Wiltrout tried to secure the inside position, but it is still John Komarinski of Greensburg, the man out front. Long-time street stock ace who went to a track championship in the Pro Stock division. Now a winner in the NASCAR Subway Super Late Models, vying for his first checkered flag of 2010 as we approach the midpoint of this event. It's Wiltrout in second, Barry Audi in third, Chris Bailey Jr. in fourth. Battle rages on between Neil Brown and Bobby Henry for fifth, but look at this, the leaders are side by side out of turn 4. Komarinski held the lead by only a fender that time at the scoring line. Wiltrout hanging strong to the inside, but unable to complete a pass. Wiltrout did lead 1 lap before Komarinski stole it back officially. Official lead changes only at the scoring line, and it was Komarinski by inches on lap 24. Next time around, the crossed flags will indicate halfway to these drivers of the NASCAR Subway Super Late Models. Subway Eat Fresh Challenge driver Mark Catone all the way back in 6th spot. And at the midpoint, Komarinski hangs on to the top position over Gary Wiltrout and Barry Audi. They again are putting themselves about 8 to 10 car lengths ahead of Chris Bailey Jr. in fourth. Now Bobby Henry with his best run yet on Neil Brown. Side by side, very close in turn 3. The battle for 5th position. Brown, a 3-time winner. Henry looking for his first win of the year, and Henry will claim the 5th position and quickly up to challenge the 17 of Chris Bailey for 4th. Bailey in his family-owned NASCAR Super Late Model that carried him to a Rookie of the Year title at Lake Erie Speedway, falling back now to 5th as Bobby Henry is the man on the move. Henry started deep in this field in car 11 and hopes to join his teammate Gary Wiltrout inside the top 3, but he's got a long way to go to reach the rear bumper of Barry Audi. Mark Catone now takes a position away from Chris Bailey after Neil Brown opens the inside lane, and Bailey now out of the top 5. On lap 28, continues to be John Komarinski, fighting off the challenges of Gary Wiltrout. They're side by side again in turn 3. Nearly made contact that time. Komarinski had to get hard on the brakes in turn 4. And at the scoring line by inches, Gary Wiltrout is once again the official leader on lap 29. Komarinski still to the outside, and they are quickly approaching a lapped car. Joe Moose, who has had mechanical problems all night, looming in front of the leaders. Wiltrout with a full car length and a half advantage this time as they reach the start-finish line. 20 laps to go. Wiltrout to the high side of Moose with Komarinski and Audi to follow. Barry Audi now closing in on Komarinski as Henry may be the fastest car on the racetrack in car 11. We got a caution flag. A spin in turn number 2. The Rookie of the Year candidate, Matt Gardner in car number 7 goes around. Gardner made a chassis adjustment on pit lane after that first flag period, and his number 7 car stops with 20 to go to bring out the caution. Side by side, Komarinski and Wiltrout bring them back to green flag conditions. Wiltrout unable to pull away from Komarinski initially, but Komarinski in the high side separating the team cars from one another as Bobby Henry grabs a position from Barry Audi. And now the Palagrudo Motorsports drivers looking to be first and second as teammates. Henry to the inside of Komarinski. And 1 and 2 are drivers looking for their first win of the season, both from the R&R Motorsports stable. Working lap 32 of 50, a pair of former Motordrome champions. The Richard and Joan Palagrudo-owned Fords up front. Komarinski in third, Barry Audi fourth. Here comes Mark Catone as we work lap 38. Catone to the inside of Komarinski for third position. Komarinski has finished top 3 a couple of times this season, with only making about half the starts so far. And points leader Catone still door to door with him on lap 39. Catone gets a little bit sideways there in turn 1. Still holds the inside position. And Catone making his way under Komarinski. He now by about an inch with 10 laps to go could be shown in 4th spot, but Joe Moose, the lap car, forces single file racing. Barry Audi nearly spins from a top 5 position and slows on the back straight. Everybody avoids him as there are 5 laps to go. A great recovery by Audi. Catone in 31, officially in 3rd spot, each lap by about a bumper. And up front, the teammates. You've got to wonder, how badly does Bobby Henry want to score a victory in 2010? He has never been shut out of victory lane in his career at Motordrome. And here on the last Friday night of July, will he aggressively challenge his teammate? Will they touch? How will this lead fight wind up in just 4 more laps? Henry this time stays to the top side, right in Wiltrout's tire tracks. Inches separating these 2 teammates. Both former Motordrome champions, and Henry finds the inside lane to his liking in turn 4. Down the front straight, side by side with 2 laps to go. Richard and Joan Palagrudo have to be on the edges of their seats. A possible 1-2 finish after their team has been winless throughout 2010. Henry still trying to challenge Wiltrout. In turn 4, they are nearly side by side again. White flag is waving. Final time into turn 1. Henry, will he use the bottom or stay closer to Wiltrout up top? Lead interval is less than a car length, headed into turn 3, final time. It will be a first-time winner. Will it be Wiltrout? Will it be Henry? Coming to the finish line, Gary Wiltrout takes the checkered flag over teammate Bobby Henry. Mark Catone into 3rd spot over John Komarinski and Neil Brown.